Now, these are of course only my personal experiences, and I cannot base any larger conclusion about society from this. What I can say though is that it's not just me who has been affected by this. As I said previously, many of my friends in my class have also had their parents called and got in big trouble for expressing these opinions. I also know of other instances where people at my school have been condemned for their opinions, or even often just for expressing basic facts that the school did not approve of. One example of this is two students stating that Jacob Rothschild is one of the richest people on the planet, which is true. And for this, they had to sit down and have a talk with the teachers. However, this is not something isolated to my school specifically. I know of many other people who have experienced huge problems with expressing their opinions, often in schools. And it's almost always the conservative/right-wing ones. To just bring up one example of this. This 16-year-old Swedish girl, who was a strong supporter of the Sweden Democrats, were grossly mistreated by the teachers at her school just for expressing her opinions, and even received death threats from other students, to the point where she had to change schools completely. So, as we can see, there is a problem with this, but the question then becomes, why? In the Swedish curriculum for how schools are to teach children, a lot of things are stated about what values and beliefs to install in the students. It is openly stated that the goal is to teach students what values are the right ones, and nothing about that they should find it out for themselves by actually thinking it through. This is a rough translation of what it says in the Swedish curriculum. Quote, "No one shall in school experience discrimination due to gender, ethnical belonging, religion, or other belief system, gender overrunning identity or expression, sexuality, age, or disability, or for other offending behavior. Those tendencies should be actively countered. Xenophobia and intolerance has to be met with knowledge, open discussion, and active efforts." The Swedish society's internationalization and the growing mobility over borders puts high demands on people's ability to live with and realize the virtues that lies in a cultural diversity. Awareness of the own and participation in the common heritage gives a stable identity that is important to develop, together with the ability to understand others' terms and values. The school is a social and cultural meeting place that hosts both a possibility and a responsibility to strengthen this capacity in everyone working there. As we can see, these statements can be interpreted pretty much any way the schools would like them to. For example, me saying that immigrants commit more rape could be interpreted as me not realizing the values of a multicultural society. The curriculum also contradicts itself a lot. Quote, "The school should be open for differing perceptions and encourage that they are brought forward. It should emphasize the meaning of personal positions and give possibilities to them." Well, here it says that the students should be encouraged to think for themselves. But at the same time, other parts say that all students should be instilled a set of values that the school agrees with. So from this we can see that much of the mistreatment that students experience can be derived from the Swedish curriculum. But absolutely not everything. But what is written in the Swedish curriculum can of course be explained by the larger culture and political climate as a whole. It is pretty safe to say that in Sweden the cultural climate is very hostile, and right-wing views are generally not very well accepted and often even suppressed. Thus, naturally, the nationalist Sweden Democrats are a very taboo party. To make you better understand this, I'd like to give you a brief history of the party. The party was founded in 1988, and by 2002, they had amassed 1.4% of the votes. By 2006, that number had grown to 2.9%, so it had doubled. By the next election, 2010, it had doubled again to 5.7%, and by this time they had been accepted into parliament. By 2014, which was the latest election, they had gotten 12.9% of the votes, so they had once again doubled and now become the third biggest party. Another election is coming up this year, and multiple studies have shown them having as much as 25%, which would mean that they would once again double the results. Despite right now being the third biggest party, and maybe in a few months becoming the biggest, the Sweden Democrats have been treated very poorly. Until the beginning of 2017, the Sweden Democrats had not gotten any recognition from any other party in parliament. And by that time, all that happened was that the moderate party and the Christian Democrats said that they were willing to discuss issues with the Sweden Democrats. So even though they may become the biggest party this election, it still looks like no other party wants to collaborate with them. This is just to give you a short understanding of what the climate looks like for this party and its supporters. So, to summarize, there is a huge political correctness in Sweden, and a great stigma around the Sweden Democrats and other right-wing and nationalist beliefs. This problem is especially prevalent in the very leftist public schools, and it's likely the cause of why I have been treated the way I've been. In the future, I will make more videos about Sweden, its political climate, and the issues we are currently facing. This video mainly served as an introduction to myself and what I want to do with this channel. This mainly served as an introduction video to myself, and I hope you enjoyed it. So stick around if you want to see more, because I have many plans for much bigger projects in the future. So if you want to stick around for that, I deeply encourage you to subscribe to this channel and spread this video as much as you possibly can. New videos will be coming as soon as possible.